Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about chicken coops and what works. You won't want to make these mistakes that can cost you money as well as your flock. So be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos about chickens. Now, I couldn't make this video without giving a shout out to Over Easy Chicken Coop for the hen house that they provided for me. Now, this video is not going to be about promoting their chicken coop, but I do have to say it really is the best on the market, and after watching this video, you'll understand why. But let's talk about what you will need if you're building your own chicken coop or if you are shopping for one. Now, there are coops like this, like the one from Over Easy, where it's just the hen house. That's going to be where they lay their eggs and where they sleep at night. And then there's other types of chicken coops that have what we call a run, and that is a fenced-in area outside of the house part where the chickens are going to spend most of their time during the day. So this coop is your typical Tractor Supply, Amazon type chicken coop. I think these are also like on Wayfair and Walmart as well. Now, if you're getting laying hens to provide eggs for your family, this is not practical. And I'm going to show you what a couple of standard laying hens actually look like inside of this cage. It is just way too small, and I'm also going to talk to you about why it doesn't work for your money because of how cheaply made this product is. As you can see, this is just not big enough for these chickens, and there's only a few inside. The cage is going to be covered in poop and feathers in no time, and the house hardly gives them enough room to sleep and lay their eggs. They will be too hot inside of that house. And it should be obvious that this is just not humane. Chickens are very intelligent, but when they get bored, they get violent and start attacking each other. After spending a few weeks in quarantine during COVID-19, I am sure you can relate to this part of the video. Coops like this are still useful, however. They can be a house for a pair of bantams if large enough, and they make wonderful cages for hens with chicks when you need to separate them from the flock, or use for chicks when they outgrow the brooder. It's important to understand that coops like this are just not sturdy. They break over time, and almost everybody who gets one of these types of coops ends up regretting it. Now, most of the time these are actually not treated for the weather, and so they break over time. The wood is also very thin, and so it's cheaply made, and that breaks. The coop, again, is not sturdy, so when it's moving, it actually stops working for the locks. The locks stop being able to lock. And yeah, it's just not a good coop to be using. And also the amount of chickens that it claims to house in here is usually very inaccurate. Now, I like mine because I do have a good use for it, but if you're getting laying hens, this is just not the right coop for you. If they're free range, technically they can sleep in this at night, but most likely they're not going to want to, and they're going to start trying to sleep on the roof or in a nearby tree. So this is just not a good investment for laying hens. Now, if you are going to be keeping your chickens inside of a coop 24/7, or even let's say half the time, then you do need 10 square feet of space per bird. Now, this sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. And this is the area of your coop where your chickens are going to be spending all of their time. This is where they're going to be during the day when they're awake, and this is what we refer to as a run. So it's a chicken run, the area where they're going to be spending most of their time. Now, the best advice I can give you when building this area is to build a bigger one than you think you actually need. Chicken math is a real thing, and after you've had chickens for a little while, you'll understand. The saying goes something like, I only wanted to have 6 chickens, but if God wants me to have 12, then 24 it is. And it seems crazy, but I'm telling you, once you own chickens, you're gonna understand it. You will want to make sure that this is secure from predators. Predators you could be dealing with are foxes, raccoons, skunks, possums, dogs, coyotes, and other animals. You might immediately be considering the obvious choice, which is chicken wire. However, most chicken farmers would actually agree that chicken wire isn't always a good idea. In fact, it's not very sturdy, and most of the time, it doesn't stand up against predators. So you want to make the investment to actually go with a hard wire cloth. That's going to keep your chickens a lot safer. Then one thing I have noticed is that a lot of people think that chickens can't fly, and this isn't really that true. They can't necessarily get off the ground and completely take off, but they can actually get off the ground, and they do use their wings to be able to get up high into things. In fact, a lot of chickens will actually roost in trees if you aren't providing them with a coop. So you may have the idea that if you aren't worried about predators, you don't want to cover the top of your chicken run. Well, it's still a good idea to cover it because a lot of birds will actually be able to escape through the top. Now, one of the things I do want to mention that's really important when deciding which coop to get or talking about designing a coop is a coop that you can walk into. Now, I see a lot of designs like this, and these are not practical because you can't get into them. And let me tell you, chickens are dirty. They poop big, giant, smelly poops that attract a lot of flies. They shed a lot of feathers. They just are dirty, and their coop gets messy and it needs to be cleaned out. And when you have designs like this is just not in any way practical for being able to clean it. So one of the most important things when deciding how you're going to build your coop or what coop to get is thinking about how you're going to be able to clean it. And it's going to be a lot more work for you and very hard on you if you're having to get down on your hands and knees and rake out a coop like that. And then let's talk about the hen house where they will be sleeping and laying their eggs. If your chickens are going to be free range, they can be taught to sleep in the coop and lay their eggs in there, and there's no need for a chicken run. I have my coop set up like this and I love it. I also love the way it looks. Now this is where Over Easy comes in because it is my favorite chicken coop on the market. It came in about 7 pieces altogether. The company is owned by a shed company from Amish woodworking, and this is sturdy, long-lasting, a great build for keeping chickens. A lot of people choose to build their own coops, but if you don't have the skill or the time, this is a great option and really probably one of the only pre-built coops that are actually worth it. The main thing you want from a coop or hen house is an area for the chickens to roost comfortably in cold and hot weather. Chickens like to perch, so you don't want to force them to sleep on the ground. A 2-inch piece of wood is a nice size for them to hold onto with their feet when they're roosting. And rows not directly underneath each other because they will poop on each other. Now you might be considering making the floor of your chicken coop wire so that the poop can fall through. Well, let me stop you right there before you make that mistake. You don't want to have the floor wire on your chicken coop because first of all, your coop is to keep your chickens safe and warm. And if the air is coming up through that, they're gonna be cold, especially during winter. Now, the other important thing to consider is the fact that if the holes in the wire are large enough for the poop to fall through, that is also large enough for feet to fall through. And if it's something that their feet are not gonna fall through, then the poop is gonna get stuck there. It's not gonna fall through. It's just gonna be a bigger mess, and you don't wanna have to deal with that. That's gonna be harder to clean. Make the floor solid. A solid wood floor is much better. You can put wood shavings and just clean it out that way. I even saw one person putting a tarp underneath where the chickens would sleep in order to collect the poop for fertilizer. So that's a cool idea. An insulated coop for them is great, but you do need to have ventilation. My coop has air vents, and this is what I use during the winter. My coop has windows, so then I open up this during the summer. But there is a metal screen so that the predators can't get into the coop. As long as your chickens can get out of the sun, rain, snow, and wind, they can handle all kinds of temperatures. Some other important things are a chicken door and a man door. The chicken door is the one the chickens will use and doesn't need to be very large. This will need to be closed at night. Most people like investing in an automatic chicken door. This opens and closes with the sun or on a timer. Chickens wake up at first light and go to sleep when the sun sets. Having an automatic chicken door prevents you from having to wake up at 6 a.m. every day or rush home to close the coop, sometimes at 5:30 p.m. I think it's important to have a large door on the coop so that you can clean it. That way you can actually walk into it and sweep out the coop. And of course, you need nesting boxes. That will make your hens feel safe and comfortable to lay eggs in. What I also love on a coop is a door on the nest boxes. It's super convenient and you can get your eggs easily. On the outside of your chicken coop, a slanted roof prevents rain from pooling and creating a leak. Main things to think about when building a coop is having enough space for all of your chickens, being able to clean it easily, and creating a place where your chickens are going to be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And when your chickens feel safe and comfortable, they're going to lay and sleep in your chicken coop. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can also follow me over on Instagram for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.